We need your help.
Very busy today. No time to help you.
If you're thinking about watching Everything Everywhere All at Once, you need to see this video. Genuinely, this is one of the best films that I have ever laid my eyes on. It had a limited release around March 11, but is now fully available in theaters. I had the opportunity to see it a couple of days ago, so here are 5 things that I absolutely loved about the experience. Starting off, the core of the story is simple, and yet it completely blew my mind. Michelle Yeoh is playing a Chinese immigrant laundromat owner who is getting audited by the IRS, and she's confronted with the dysfunctional nature of her family's structure right in the middle of the biggest financial issue of her life. Enter in the other 2 stars of the show. First, we got the return of the amazing Ke Huy Quan, who's playing Raymond Wang, the typical oblivious husband who ends up subverting each one of your expectations. Y de ahí, we got Stephanie Su giving a powerhouse performance as the child of the family joy. Without giving too much away, the family has to face some pretty tough issues. Evelyn is the soul of the family, working around the house, taking care of her elderly father Gong Gong, and also operating a huge laundromat. And her husband doesn't really do much. Plus, she has to navigate the fact that her daughter is a lesbian, and telling that to the grandparents is always a tough ordeal. I mean, it shouldn't be, they grew up in a different generation, but they got to adjust to the times, you know, homie? Everything changes when they have to go and do the audits. 3 words, Jamie Lee Curtis. Wow, this woman can do anything, including being the most menacing IRS agent you're ever gonna lay your eyes on. Deirdre does her job exceptionally well and tells her, hey yo, if your family doesn't get their shit in order financially, we're gonna seize every single one of your assets. Tensions rise beautifully, and boom, Raymond reveals that he has access to the other versions of himself across the multiverse. And he sets us off on a mind-numbing multiversal adventure, where Evelyn, the main character of this amazing film, has to access the skills from each one of her own selves across the cosmos in order to save it from the menacing Jobu Topaki. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, no. This is the beginning of a crazy journey that is the truest definition of a character study. Except that we're doing it for 3 different people. We all know Michelle Yeoh is good, but she gives the trailblazing performance of a lifetime. Experiencing your alternate lives is hard enough as it is, but she gracefully makes every single personality and every scene look grounded and fresh in a very exhilarating emotional performance. Familia, to this day, I still can't believe that Ke Huy Quan hasn't acted in decades. Este hombre absolutely rocks the part of Raymond, seamlessly changing from a disappointed, very bland husband to an absolute martial arts king. He's essentially the Indiana Jones version of James Bond. Actually, this is a pretty good time to remind you, if he kinda looks familiar, it's because he was a huge child star, playing part in The Goonies and playing the part of Short Round in Indiana Jones: The Temple of Doom. And in this motion picture, he's an absolute star in every sense of the word. He carries his role. Amidst all of this metaphysical self-exploration, Stephanie Su's character's joy is the key to everything. Spoilers if you haven't seen the movie. 3, 2, 1, she's Jobu Topaki. Did I just fuck up counting 3 to 1? Okay, I did that. But in her case, she becomes a multiversal warrior focused on one thing and one thing only. Burn it all to the ground. Or better yet, just push it all into a black hole that you created inside a bagel. Numero 3, we gotta talk about the action and the CGI. 3 simple characters making their own way through a mind-altering story that has an entire multiversal plot to back them up. Traveling between universes never looked and felt so damn good. The action set pieces were choreographed by the people that did Shang-Chi, so you know that the action is priceless. There are numerous references to 80s Hong Kong cinema. You can clearly see the inspiration to the old Jackie Chan movies. And the 80s action flick vibes match the endless possibilities of a crazy multiverse. Keep in mind, this movie had a minuscule budget, but the effects, the visuals, and the costume design rival every single big picture that you've seen this year. Numero 4, the social commentary and the emotion. I was literally going from crying and bawling my eyes out to laughing my butt off in less than 10 seconds. The biggest and best thing about this movie is that although the plot is centered around a crazy exploration of a multiversal concept, the core root of the story is rooted around family. The storytelling of this project is completely centered around pivoting from universe to universe, covering a mother-daughter story, where prejudice and social pressures govern and tear apart a relationship at its core. And through all of that craziness, it is only love and the desire to become a better person that truly ends up saving this family. Funnily enough, this movie also adds a lot of social commentary on the external pressures that we push upon ourselves, specifically when it comes to finding our passion, who and what we want to love, and ultimately, who do we want to become in the future. Evelyn is the biggest depiction of that. She would want nothing else than to explore the other alternate versions of herself, which actually completed their dreams. They are way more successful than she could ever imagine she could be. But it is exactly at this moment that she realizes that her current self is the only version that she should be concerned with. And this is due to the fact that although she didn't complete all of the beautiful dreams that she had when she was a child, she has the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to truly reevaluate who she is on her family structure and embrace the family that she currently has. Finally, at number 5, I'm gonna leave you with some fun facts so you can realize the importance that this movie's gonna have. Once you do end up watching this movie, keep in mind Jamie Lee Curtis confirmed that this was filmed in under 39 days in one building mostly, and it wasn't a huge studio. It was more like an office space. It is officially the highest rated movie in Letterboxd history. If you don't know what Letterboxd is, it's basically a movie repository where you get reviews for some of the biggest movies and TV shows around. And this thing has a better rating than The Godfather and even Parasite. You know when Thanos said all of that for a drop of blood? This thing did all of that with a $25 million budget. There's one of the scenes where we go through each and every single one of the different Evelyns across the multiverse. It looks just like Interstellar, or even better. Anda pal carajo, I'm so good at making connections because this was produced by the Russo brothers. It looks and feels like the Multiverse of Madness, but actually having a core solid message in the center. To be honest, the biggest takeaway that I got from this film is that if this is a passion project and you want to expose a clear, concise message, you can do it. You can add a lot of fanfare like there is in this movie, but at the core of your story, there has to be some warmth and wholesomeness to it. I mean, if you look at the trailers, you know that we are exploring a universe where people have hot dogs for hands. The Daniels truly are a directing duo that was built for the ages. If you recognize that name, that's because they previously directed the movie Swiss Army Man. That movie was really creative and fun in and of its own way, but this thing right here, Everything Everywhere All at Once, is an all-time great. I'm planning on watching it again this weekend to show you all of the different breakdowns and Easter eggs that I could find. A cool couple of ones that I just see off the top of my head is the scenes that we see at the main office space where the IRS audit is happening. It's really reminiscent of The Matrix. Actually, a lot of the action scenes at the beginning are very reminiscent of The Matrix. They took all of the fears and troubles of the psychoanalyzed era that they were in and brought it into a digital age. All of that with amazing, well-choreographed action scenes. And then the second one is a parody of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Once you see the monkeys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Then again, I've only watched the movie once, but so far, just with one viewing, I can tell you this is as close to a 10 as you can possibly go. I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it. It's a 10 out of 10. It is a top tier, must recommend, Tropical Joe, tropical seal of approval. You should definitely go watch this. I'm not sure if it can get nominated for the Oscars. I know the Oscars are pretty much in the ether as like one of the craziest shit shows that we have in entertainment right now, but this could win Best Picture. Always remember, be grateful for the life that you have and try to strive to be the best version of yourself you can be. Michelle Yeoh did it, and you can too. But hey, that is all it from me, familia. Make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and make sure to hit that subscribe button with the notification bells on so you can get instant notice for whenever I post my next video. As always, crack a smile, ride the wave, and I'll see you on the next one. Blow!